Our featured guests today have been dutifully served our great city of Mesa on the city council, and their respective terms are coming to an end this year. It's just like a big going away party. Through their tenure, Mesa has seen too many great things happen to list here, so please welcome to the stage outgoing council member Dave Richins and Mesa Vice Mayor Dennis Kavanaugh. Come on up, gentlemen. That was, you're not going to believe that was unrehearsed. Thanks, gentlemen. Before we begin, on behalf of the Mesa, on the behalf of the Mesa Chamber, its members, and we sure thank you for your service and for bringing many great projects to the city of Mesa. Once again, a big round of applause for these gentlemen. Can you believe it's coming to an end?
Thank God.
Free at last.
Free at last. Well, when you look back on your terms, what do you think you'll be most proud of, accomplishment-wise? What do you look back fondly? All right, folks. Well, thanks for coming by. Evidently, you didn't do anything.
I think we left the city better than we found it, and really, that's kind of don't do a lot of damage, of course, But I think things are better. I think people feel confident about Mesa and its future now, and not that they didn't before, but I'm really excited about the business community, the efforts that the chamber has made, the college initiative, Benedictines here in the room, Gateway Bank, some of our big local partners, and the strength that they have in building Mesa in the future.
And by the way, for those of you that don't know these gentlemen, that was Dave speaking, and this is Mr. Dennis Kavanaugh. You're both staying pretty busy right up until the end of your terms. What's going on between now and the end of the year? What's your main focus?
Well, I'm doing my part as the Christmas elf and working very hard with. I have this is my 8th annual toy drive for Cardin Children's Hospital, and so. Actually, tomorrow morning, I'm hosting a pancake breakfast at Fire Station 207. And over the past 7 years, we've collected more than 6,000 toys for the Children's Hospital. And so we'll be there tomorrow for a free pancake breakfast, entertainment by choirs from Red Mountain High School, Dobson High School, and a lot of people will be bringing toys. And Blue Santa will be there. You have to ask Chief Mesa about that because he's from the Mesa Police Department. And we'll be delivering those toys next Wednesday to Cardin Children's Hospital. So that's been occupying a lot of time, but we're staying busy really until the last day because there's a lot of community events that we attend and work on.
That's awesome. When I heard Blue Santa, I thought it was like a Santa that swore a lot or something. That's awesome. Now, you said what fire station is that?
Fire Station 207, which is on Dobson by the Dobson Ranch Branch Library.
Yeah, we all know that. We memorize the locations by the numbers.
Well, we do.
That's why I was wanting you to give that out. So cool. That's awesome. So stop by for some pancakes and bring a gift.
Exactly.
That's great. And Dave, what about with you?
I'm just slouching towards the holidays. This guy's way busy. I don't think Dennis gets quite enough credit for the outreach that he's done in his district during his term. I mean, I'll always consider Dennis a friend and mentor for me and the example that he set for the rest of the council and the way he's outreach to his constituents. I think you have a coffee with a council member every month, numerous pancake breakfasts in collaboration with our fire department, and the toy drive, I don't think gets enough credit. What happens there at Cardin Children's Hospital because of Dennis Kavanaugh is really admirable. And I think he deserves a round of applause for that, if that's okay.
Well, thank you very much, Grasshopper.
I like it when they heckle each other. That's the most fun. So what are your post-council plans? What's going on the next chapter of your life?
Well, I keep telling everyone that I will not repeat the mistake of when I left council the first time. I couldn't say no to anyone, and I ended up at one point being on about 12 different boards, raising money for all of them. So I'm going to take a 6-month sabbatical from joining any new boards and work on trying to kind of rebuild my law practice, which has not been helped by being on city council, but I am a proud chamber member for 20 plus years, so hopefully we'll rebuild that.
Mesa Chamber Board.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's all you got
spend my
going
time
on?
doing- That's all I got. No, the company I work for during the day is Resolution Copper Mine. We're a proud Mesa Chamber member, and I get to serve on the board in that capacity, and looking forward to spending a little bit more time helping with Mesa Chamber. But mostly the time I'm going to spend is either with my children or helping entitle a copper mine that's slated to produce about 25% of U.S. copper demand for 40 years. So it's a big, huge project. It generates lots of jobs and economic impact. I think you've had us on your show here in the past. But that's going to take up the bulk of my time.
That's great. So any advice for the people that are going to step in and take your place? What would you
Don't do
like
it.
to...
Just don't run.
Just get out. Run.
Run. Not for office, the other way.
No, anyone who's serving in council needs to have a lot of patience, thick skin, and a sense of humor, because sometimes you end up being in the theater of the absurd in terms of what the community is asking you to do or asking you to pass, and you can get into some very unusual situations. So it's, again, patience, thick skin, and most of all, a sense of humor, right?
Yeah, early in our term, we inherited a initiative that the previous council had started, which was to license fortune tellers, which I thought was a really interesting approach. They wanted to license fortune tellers. So we actually ended up rejecting that initiative, and I had the fortune teller emailed me very upset about us not passing that license. And I simply emailed back, you should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
And thus started my council career.
Although, and Mark, I could probably top that as a word of advice to the incoming council members. During my first terms, we had a controversy out in East Mesa where neighbors were keeping pet monkeys and had their monkey cage next to the block wall fence, and the monkeys, whenever the neighbors would be out by their pool, they would be throwing things at the neighbors. And so we were asked to ban monkeys in Mesa. And that caused quite a turmoil, because when the idea came to city council, immediately several of our state legislators got worried in terms that to make sure they were excluded. And so we had to work, and instead of banning monkeys, we worked to regulate them. So you can, and of course the lawyers get involved. So the ordinance actually exists, and it permits you to have no more than 3 non-human primates in your house. And so we just have to tell legislators, have no more than a couple of roommates and you'll be permitted to stay in Mesa. But that is actually something that I had to work on, and with
awesome.
trying to do so with a straight face, which was impossible.
A lot of times, and I watch a lot of Animal Planet, so I know this stuff. Monkeys get really upset if you don't slice their bananas with a banana slicer. They start throwing stuff. So
While riding in a stagecoach.
Yeah.
while riding
or a covered wagon.
Covered wagon. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's great. Wow, these stories are. You should have been keeping notes in a journal and written a book about this.
We have notes.
We have notes.
Oh,
yeah.
we have notes.
Our memoirs will be very entertaining.
Well, we got time. Tell us more. Any other great stories come to mind, or challenges?
Well, yes. Again, in my first term when I was a rookie, and for all the rookies on council, you'll get requests for everything. I had a lady call me up and wanted me to introduce an ordinance to require cats to be on leashes, and also to prevent her neighbor's cat from pooping in her garden. And when I told the lady, well, I don't think that second ordinance is really going to work because cats don't read. And then she got mad, she hung up, that was it. So, but don't do anything with animals. I mean, Mr. Richins really is the king of animal regulation in Arizona, and he's created the famous animal points for livestock in the community. So we never thought we would be working on animal issues in council, but those are some of the stranger ones we worked on, right?
Decriminalizing cows in Lehigh was a big initiative for us.
I'm sorry, say again?
Decriminalizing cows, and yeah.
Was that a problem?
No, in Lehigh, there's a lot of infrastructure for livestock. And if you've ever been down that part of our community, it's a great part of Mesa. I love Lehigh. It's been a part of my district my whole term. And our new council member, Mark Freeman, is actually from Lehigh. But early on, another early part of our council, there was an effort to change our livestock ordinance that we had. It only allowed 2 animals per acre. And what would happen in Lehigh is somebody would sneak that third cow onto that acre. And yeah, they'd call, if their neighbor got upset with them, they'd call code compliance and, hey, they got 3 cows. And then code compliance would have to go out and, yeah, it was ridiculous, yeah. So we changed that livestock ordinance. It made, this is a terrible story. Anyway, but
Some
yeah.
people have way too much time on their hands.
It's one of those exciting things. That's why I say run. Don't go for,
Well, I think I just saw
It's
on
a
the
thankless
news,
job.
isn't California regulating cow flatulence now?
I try
I
to
hate to
stay
bring
out of
this up.
California politics. So.
Yeah, so anyway.
So, yeah, we redid our livestock ordinance in Mesa and made it legal for more cows, I guess. Yeah.
I'm lactose intolerant, so I don't even care. What are you most proud of as you leave office?
I guess for me, the last 8 years have been, I've served 4 terms, but the last 8 years really have been the best because we had a council that was not afraid to take risks, but we were able to come to consensus on every major policy issue before the council in the last 8 years. There's no other city in Arizona that's been able to do that, and I think that stability of leadership is one of the reasons why we've had so many successes really over the past 8 years, including the place we're in now, Crescent Crown, coming to Mesa because of the kind of work that we did, the stable city government that we've had.
Yeah, for me, it was reinvestment in our neighborhoods, a $70 million parks bond that we reinvested in parks, reinvestment in retention basins that were getting a little ratty. Some of the parts of my district have alleys, just simple things like alley gates. We put together a graffiti app that a resident, when they saw graffiti, could take a picture of the graffiti with this app and it would geocode it and it would send a work order to us and you could remediate graffiti. And that was a really, it's a big quality of life issue because people feel really unsettled by graffiti. You wake up in the morning and maybe the alley wall behind your house or around the corner has some graffiti on it and somebody's been there that may have some kind of nefarious intent and may have driven a stagecoach there, who knows?
Exactly.
But this app was really neat because we would have responses from the contractor who was doing this in typically less than 24 hours, and I'd had responses in under 20 minutes before taking care of that graffiti after you submitted that work order. And for me, that leveraging technology to be more efficient and serve our residents, it's cheaper, it's faster, it's better, and that's really the essence of what government should be thinking in the 21st century.
I couldn't help but notice when you combine 2 of those things with cows and graffiti, I saw a lot of cow graffiti at the Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, it's a problem. Yeah.
It said eat more chicken, and it was obviously done by cows, so maybe you could look into that.
I've seen that, yeah.
You've
No,
seen
we're on
that
it, we're on it, yeah.
You're on it?
I'm hoping to wrap that up before January.
Perfect. And what do you think about you guys, I think, are 2 of the main reasons that the Cubs are now the world champions.
What
Are you the right-handed pitcher?
Yeah, it's a couple of days before the World Series, I had dropped by the Arizona Fall League, and if none of you have ever attended the Arizona Fall League, it is great baseball, and there's nobody there, so if you want a foul ball, you can get one pretty easy if you sit in the right spot. But there's some really good baseball that's played there, and they had Kyle Schwarber out playing in the Arizona Fall League. Got to see a couple of at-bats. He looked horrible. And, sure enough, they called him up to play in the World Series. At first, I'm like, how's he? He's not going to do very well. The first game, it looked a little rocky, but sure enough, the Cubs' spring training facility in Mesa got him ready.
So you're pretty astute. You're a pretty astute talent observer, is what you're saying. So you're obviously a right-handed pitcher, and Dennis, I'm guessing shortstop.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, I happen to also be a baseball Cardinal fan, so
there you
wearing the Cubs championship shirts, that was an interesting experience for me. But Dave told me, don't worry, counseling can help with that. So we did our great photo. But really, we helped set the stage with the great training facilities and support here. And what's really fun is the first city in which the World Championship flag will be raised before a baseball game will be in Mesa, Arizona.
Oh, that's awesome. Well,
Yeah, you know, when the A's moved to town, we used to tease the Cubs. We tell them, hey, you know, it's really exciting to finally have a team in town that has championship banners. So I think that, you know, goaded them
spurred
just
them on
enough.
a little
You know, one of the projects we're working on, and it's going to complete after we leave office, but we're actually doing what's called a stadium connector trail. So you can actually ride a bike from the Hohokam Stadium to Sloan Park on a grade-separated bike path all the way.
Well,
so
maybe you
cool,
can.
Good stuff.
I can't.
You could probably
Somebody
take
is
a
probably
covered
watching.
wagon too. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. We'll have to.
Somebody's probably watching today on Channel 11 wondering why they should move their family and their business to Mesa, Arizona. Dennis, give us a quick 30-second commercial on why that should happen.
We have great schools, great services in the community, stable government most of the time. And it's really a welcoming atmosphere. I moved to Arizona in 1975 from the Midwest, and to me, Mesa felt like home. I was welcomed from day one, and I think that spirit continues on today.
And Dave?
Yeah, I concur. We have great neighborhoods. You know, all over the city, whether you're in East Mark and far southeast Mesa, Dobson Ranch in his district, some of the older neighborhoods without HOAs and names, maybe Mesa Grande area. There's some really great neighborhoods to raise a family in, and Dennis mentioned the schools are great. We also have lots to do here. You know, there's all the parks that have been reinvested in, the music venues and arts, and you know, for me, it's the biggest suburb you had never heard of when you go travel the country. But there's no place I'd rather raise my 4 children. So
that's awesome.
We're here.
Well, we thank you guys for your. We thanks for your service. We thank you for coming by today. And as a little token of our appreciation, this is from one of our great chamber members. Do you have automobiles? Do you have vehicles? Pass that over to
We have a covered wagon.
They will detail your covered wagon. $100 detail gift card for each of you from Cobblestone Auto Spa.
Wow,
they're all over the valley.
Your assistant's here to file this in the gift registry. Right?
Yeah, we have to report this,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're not allowed by law to accept that, you can leave that here and I'll make sure it gets used. Thanks for coming by, guys. Thanks for your service and for making Mesa an even better place to live. So big round of applause for these gentlemen. Dave and Dennis.